Do you want to know the one skill that separates good analysts from great ones? It is not just about Excel or financial modeling. The best FP&A professionals have a secret weapon. In this video, I will reveal the exact blend of technical and soft skills you need to master to stand out in FP&A. Right from data visualization to strategic communication, you will learn what it really takes to move from crunching numbers to influencing decisions. Let's talk about the technical skills first. Mastering Excel is just the beginning. Today's analysts are expected to understand scenario planning and sensitivity analysis and build dynamic models that reflect the real world opportunities and complexities. 78% of the hiring managers specifically want the skill, and it is not just about Excel. Tools like Power BI and Tableau are now essential for creating interactive dashboards that can help the business leaders test assumptions on the fly. One of the most common question I often get asked is how do you decide which tool to use for different types of FP&A analysis? The mistake most people make is using the same tool for everything just because they are comfortable with it. You wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw, right? The same goes here. If it is a quick margin analysis, you can use Excel and which will do the job. But if you're presenting department-wise trends to leadership, you may want to use Power BI. For building a budget or a forecast model, you could turn to FP&A tools like Anaplan, IBM, or JDocs. But here is the thing: even the best of the tools will not help you, and your work will be useless if no one acts on your analysis. It is not about fancy models or charts. It is about using the right tool to spark the right decision. And that is how great analysts create impact, not just insights. Because in FP&A, technical skills don't matter unless they lead to business impact. After technical analysis, next is the art of turning data into decisions. Here is why your analysis means nothing without this crucial step. Many analysts spend hours creating polished dashboards that look impressive but never get used. A recent study found out that 60% of the financial reports fail to influence actual business decisions. This issue isn't the quality of analysis, it is how that analysis gets communicated. Let us take an example of a tech startup analyst who struggled to get to leadership to act on their findings. They had all the right data points: customer acquisition costs, lifetime value trends, and cohort performances. But nothing changed until they shifted their approach. Instead of presenting spreadsheets, they framed insights as three-act story: the current problem, the financial impact, and the recommended solution. The result, their recommendations saw a 300 times or a 3x times increase in implementation. Research shows that visualizations alone improve understanding by about 200%. But when paired with a clear narrative and comprehension, this jumps to 400%. This explains why the most effective FP&A professionals don't just report numbers, they curate them. They'll highlight two or three critical metrics rather than overwhelming the stakeholders with 20 different numbers. Their commentary focuses on why certain trends matter and not just what the trends are. The best analysts anticipate questions before they get asked. When presenting quarterly results to executives, they don't wait for someone to ask about the sales dip in Europe. They address it proactively. They will say, our German revenues declined 12%, and here are the three factors driving that. This foresight comes from the understanding what keeps the leadership up at night. Data storytelling follows a simple but powerful structure. First, you establish context. Let us take an example. For example, our operating margin shrank by 2% last quarter. After that, you explain the causation of that. Again, back to the example. The higher freight costs accounted for 1.5% of that. And finally, you propose some action. For example, negotiating bulk shipping rates could recover 1% of that. This flow turns abstract numbers into clear pathways for decision making. Now, this storytelling mindset creates another advantage. It forces the FP&A analyst to prioritize. When you know that you only have 15 minutes with the CFO, you will learn to trim 20 slides down to 3 that matter the most. The discipline of narrative exposes which points actually drive decisions versus which merely look through. Some analysts, however, hesitate to tell stories. Hearing it oversimplifies complex realities. But effective storytelling isn't about dumbing down, it is about focusing up. For example, in that tech startup example, analysts didn't ignore complicating factors. They simply organized them around central themes leadership could grasp quickly. At its core, this skill bridges analysis and action. The difference between reporting that sales are down and spurring the team to fix it, the transition happens when you stop asking what does the data show and start asking what should we do differently tomorrow. And this approach naturally leads to the next evolution in FP&A effectiveness. Once you can translate numbers into clear narratives, you are now positioned to connect those insights to broader organizational strategy, not just reporting on what happened, but shaping what happens next. Next, let us talk about business acumen. Now, most FP&A analysts focus on departmental metrics without seeing the bigger picture. A survey found that only 32% of analysts could explain how their work impacted the company strategy. Now, this gap limits their ability to influence decisions even when their analyses are technically sound. The difference between a good analyst and a great one often comes down to business acumen, which is understanding how financial data connects to real world business operations. Let me take an example of a FP&A professional who studied their company's supply chain operations. Now, they don't just track the logistics cost, they learn how warehousing layout affects the delivery times and the inventory turnover. This operational knowledge helps them spot inefficiencies that financial numbers and reports alone wouldn't reveal. And you see, within a year, the analyst gets a promotion. The key takeaway here is analysts who develop operational expertise earn 28% more than average because they provide insights that others usually miss. So, what is business acumen? Strong business acumen means asking the why behind every number. Instead of just reporting the marketing cost rose by 15%, an analyst with operational knowledge might connect this to a new customer segmentation strategy. They could explain whether the increase in the marketing spend aligns with the expected returns or indicates wasteful spending. This context transforms the data from observations into actionable intelligence. And building this understanding requires stepping outside the finance silos. Effective analysts often talk to department leaders regularly. They visit the production floors, sit in on sales calls, or shadow customer service teams. All these experiences reveal nuances that spreadsheets can't capture. An analyst who understands the manufacturing bottlenecks, for example, can adjust forecasts when production delays occur rather than waiting for variances to appear in the reports later on. And industry knowledge also matters. An FP&A analyst in healthcare needs to understand reimbursement models as deeply as income statements. In retail, they should be able to recognize how store layouts affect sales per square foot. This specialized knowledge lets analysts anticipate issues before they even show up in the financials. When they spot a trend, they can link it directly to operational decisions rather than representing abstract numbers. Now, this mindset shift also leads to tangible career benefits. FP&A analysts who connect numbers to business operations gain a lot of credibility with the executives. Leadership starts viewing them as strategic advisors rather than just reporters of historical data. That transition alone opens doors to roles like finance business partner or director of strategic planning, where influence matters as much as technical skills. So here is the bottom line. Technical skills will land you FP&A interviews, but combining them with business acumen and data storytelling will make you indispensable. Start small. Pick one skill to develop this month, like financial modeling, data storytelling, business partnering, budgeting, forecasting. The best FP&A analysts don't just report numbers, they shape strategy by connecting data to decisions. So whether you're building models or interpreting them, focus on how each piece moves the business forward. And that's when FP&A and finance become strategy.